Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Elden Ring Guide. And today we're just going to go pick up where we left off yesterday, where, if you don't remember, we had marked several areas down. We wanted to go down south. We wanted to go to the Sending Gate that Dee told us about. And last but certainly not least, we wanted to go under this bridge and go up this path. For the first, we can honestly do these in any order. We can do these in any order. Personally, though, I recommend going south first, because we need to pick up some items there, because there's some very important items down there. Probably wondering why we have a health debuff. If you remember, last time we picked up the Baldachin's Blessing, which increases our physical damage negation and our poise as well, which basically, I forgot to explain poise yesterday. Sorry. Poise is basically the amount of hits you can take before you get staggered out of attacks or just doing normal things. We spoke to this NPC and she wants us to deliver a letter to her father. So we're just gonna run down the main path. Pick up some loot while we're here. We want to run by all of these. Pick up all this loot, because it's very good. In here, we pick up the Morning Star, which is a hammer. We're going to need that for later. I'll explain why. Pick up these smithing stones. See that teardrop scarab? We're going to go kill it. Whoop. There we go. Mighty shot for bows. That's very good. As you can see, there's a Knight's Cavalry over there. Before we go fight him, though, we're gonna rest at this grace before we go fight him. But yes, we do want to fight him. We're just gonna rest at this side of grace real quick. Now we'll go fight him. It's actually a smart idea, because these guys, I'll save the Baldachin's Blessing. And I'll, tell you guys a great place to use it. And against Knight's Cavalries, again, as usual, you want to be focusing on, what do you call it? Guard counters and just getting the occasional slash. What I recommend you do is you get guard counters when he's on your left side, and you want to get traditional slashes when he's on your front side. The reason why we want to fight this Knight's Cavalry in particular is because he drops a very unique Ash of War that will be very useful to us. And you're probably seeing that thing at the bottom. So what does that mean? That is the bleed status effect. And that actually does a percentage-based chunk of damage if it builds up fully. So you never want to let that bar get to full. So just be very careful. So some attacks you want to dodge, like I just did there, and other attacks you're going to want to block. So you just want to alternate between doing those. If you get lucky there, sometimes he'll miss. You can get a guard counter. Jumping attack. I missed there, but if you're close enough, you can get one. Another guard counter. Could have gotten a guard counter there, but I went ahead with the light attack. Dodging that like that is pretty consistent. This attack is probably the easiest to punish with a guard counter. If you get on his left side, his left, our right, as we're facing him, he actually won't be able to hit you there, except for one very telegraphed attack. You've probably seen me do it a couple times. Like, as you can see, you can just kind of go to town on him here, and there's that very telegraphed attack I was talking about. So it's very easy to block. This, you can just get a guard counter, knock him down. And now we want to get a riposte on him. And he's dead. Got ourselves a unique Ash of War called Barricade Shield. So what that does is it temporarily increases the blocking capabilities of your shield for about, I want to say, 6 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty good. We're not going to use it, but if you are interested in the shield playstyle, that's very good. Another thing we picked up, as you saw, was the Knight Rider Flail. This requires 24 dexterity. Flails in general aren't very good, so we're not going to be using it, but trust me, we will. You also see this merchant here. We can either choose to level or buy things. I recommend leveling, and you want to level your dexterity, because your dexterity is very low. If you've been following the leveling guide, you're at like 15 now. And just have a look at this merchant, see if there's anything you want. Smithing stones comes to mind. We definitely want to buy these. He also mentions these, talking about demi-human mobs. We don't need this, but it's nice to have if you want to come back for it. We're just going to buy all of those. Yeah. And you'll probably see that there, leading you up to a place. I'll just show you what that is. I'll just go ahead and show you what it is. It won't take me but a hot minute. So jump up here, and you'll see a tower. So what is this tower? So this tower is basically... Towers like these are basically puzzles you have to solve. This one says to seek the 3 wise beasts. So what does that mean? Well, the wise beasts are often referred to as turtles. So as you can see, there's a turtle right here. And you gotta whack him in order to, quote-unquote, find him. There's another turtle over here. Kill him. Alright, and now we want to go this way. And as you can see, there's this little splashing. All these, you see that splashing in the water right here. And you can see, I'm walking into it as if there's something here. So whack it, and that's the 3 turtles. And now, as you can see, you got a message there saying the rise is opened. And in these rises, if you go up the ladder, there's often a reward in these. Now, the reward is often different things depending on what it is, but the most common reward are memory stones. And I think I should probably explain what so a memory stone, in case you don't know what a memory stone is, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Basically what it is it gives you 1 extra slot for an extra spell slot. As you can see before, in the memory slots, we only had 2. Now we have 3. And that means that's the amount of spells we can equip. So that's very useful if you're a caster. Or if you just intend on using a lot of spells and buffs. We don't really right now, because we're not really going to be investing in intelligence or faith. Not right now, anyway. So that's not very useful to us right now, but later on it will be. Another thing you can do while you're here is... Actually, we just want to jump down into this. Back down into the bottom. And we actually have a couple things to do. First, we actually want to go forward into this area, into this very open area. And we're going to want to keep an eye on the right. Well, as you can see, there's a thing over there as well. Down there, you can see a golden seed as well. And here is a giant golem firing arrows at you. First, grab the golden seed. And now, instead of going forward, we want to make a left. And we want to go over here to where these crucifixes are. And we're going to want to go to this, poison swamp area. It's very small. Stay on torrent at all times in this area. This is very swampy. And we want to specifically go over to this this rock, climb up it, then jump onto this other rock, grab that golden rune 4, that's very valuable, and now you want to go down the rock. Okay, we just got very lucky there. Yeah, be careful because the giant can still shoot you from here. Alright, there's not really much else here. So we're just gonna run down to the beach. That's on the left side. And over there you'll see another person in a chair. And by it you will see a smithing stone too. And here you'll get an arteria leaf. That's a crafting material that's very rare. It can be used to make certain types of potions and different items. And now we're going to go over to kill that golem. What you want to do is you want to run to him as quickly as possible, and that's why we have the green turtle talisman equipped here. Now jump if he's like that. You want to get right up next to him. and you'll want to smack his ankles. His ankles are his weak point. If you smack his ankles enough, he will actually stagger, which he should have staggered by now, I would think. Oh, there's the stagger. So, and he gets over to this weird golden glow here, and you're going to want to do the light attack button on him, and I'll do a riposte, and that'll kill him. So, yeah. Another strategy you can do there is instead of going for the riposte, you can just continue to smack his ankles. Odds are he'll die. And now that we're here, we are now in Castle Morn, that lady told us about. We're not going to go all the way in yet, though. We actually want to go back to the Castle Morn Rampart instead, because we're not quite ready to go in there. We're almost ready, but we're not quite. We got, like, quite a few more things to do, actually. So first, we actually want to go this way, up to the, this section. I actually have to double check a few things before we do anything. Okay, alright. Okay, good. Up here, there's lots of items, but there's one item we're really only here for, and it's pretty much the only item we're here for. Just ignore all the enemies and just keep running past them. The thing you're here for is in this church right here. And that's the Frenzied Flame incantation and the Sacred Tear. Once you've done that, just run to the outside and just keep running along this edge here until you find a site of grace. There is one around here somewhere. Should be, anyway. We're coming up on it, I think. Yep, there it is, right there. And once we get here, well, you're going to want to light that site of grace, obviously. We're going to want to get on our horse again. And then we're going to want to keep an eye out down below next to this bridge here. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to drop down here, make a right turn, and then we're going to want to go across the bridge. Just ignore all the enemies, just keep running past them. Don't bother dropping down there yet. Just ignore it. We're just going to keep on running. And we're going to go on to this right side here, because there's a very important item we need. Don't bother with this flower thing. Just run right past it. And just go down to that bowl over there next to those other flowers. And here, the Faith Not Crystal Tier. That, just like the Strength Crystal Tier, gives you a free extra 10 levels. Except that one's in Faith. That's going to be very important a little bit later. So, we don't need to equip it right now. But we will later. And now we want to go up to this church as well. And up here, just burst through those. Grab that Sacred Tear at the back. And rest at this side of grace. And we want to rest here so that way we can upgrade our flasks with the Sacred Tears that we picked up. So first we want to upgrade those twice. You can actually speak to Melina here as well, if you like, for some extra lore.
Spoken echoes linger here, words of Queen Marika, who vanished long ago. If you wish, I will share them with you. In Marika's own words, then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed. Return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring. Grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Now that we've spoken to Melina, you're going to want to go over to that Erd tree over there. There's also a cave nearby, a catacomb. We're not going to go there yet, but we will. We'll do that actually after we do the Erd Tree Avatar and one other thing. So just go up here, and you want to go fight this thing called Erd Tree Avatar. Now, Erd Tree Avatars, very easy fight, very simple. I'd say the number one thing you want to do with these guys, and I'll actually show you. You can summon if you want to. I'm not going to. We're going to consume our flask. We're just going to run up on him. Get a quick jumping attack. Run off to his side. Get a guard counter. Smack him once. Now, when he does this jump, roll into it. Don't roll away. Roll in. Same thing with this. You want to do a charged attack. Roll. Do another charged attack. Get a riposte on him. Do massive damage. Get another charged attack. Roll into it. Get another charged attack. Roll into it. Get another charged attack. Roll into it. Wait for the stamina to regen. He jumps in the air. And roll. Hit him again. And then hit him again with another charged attack. And then do a riposte. Then, as he's getting up, do another charged attack. Wait for him to come down. Roll. Do another charged attack. Wait. Now, when he does this, back away, and then start running around him like this. Now, I didn't dodge it all the way there, but those balls will chase you, and you can't dodge roll them normally because there's so many of them, so you're going to want to run. He does this slam, roll, charge attack, roll into him, do a light attack, because sometimes he'll follow that up, do a normal heavy, and then do a light attack. Alright, that was easy. It's pretty easy overall. Not bad. Okay. Get on your horse, and he'll drop the Opaline Bubble Tier and the Crimson Burst Crystal Tier. That actually gives you some passive HP regen over time, and the Opaline Bubble Tier gives you 90% damage negation for a single attack. Basically, that means, like, if you get one free chance to make a mistake, and for the boss to do no damage to you. Now that we've handled that, we actually want to... I know what we want to do. We actually want to go to that cave I talked about earlier. I know I said we were going to do one more thing before going to that cave, but we're not. We're just going to go straight to it. Because it should be... Okay, it's not there. It's like... Yeah, it's this way. And it's right here. And we're going to want to get off the horse, open the gate, and we're going to want to rest at the site of grace inside. Once we've done that, though, we actually want to head back outside to fast travel. Because we actually want to... we could level here, but we actually aren't going to. We're going to go buy some things from Kale. Head back out and go to Kale. And we're going to buy one set of items that I know we need. Because it's very important to us.
Wait, well, you're...
And we need to buy all of the cracked pots. We also want to buy the telescope while we're here, because why not? Now and then we'll speak to him about Blythe.
Ah, then you met Blythe, did you? Wonderful. I'm glad I pointed you in his direction. He's boorish, blunt, and couldn't find his nose with both hands. But he's a good egg. I think the two of you are sure to find the best in one another. Goodbye.
Overall, now we're done with Kale. We actually want to go back to the Castle Morn Rampart right here next to that merchant. And now we want to buy a couple things from him as well. Number one thing we want to buy from him is the Smithing Stone 2.
Trade again.
And the cracked pot he has in his possession. You could also buy the crossbow, but I don't think that's necessary. Not right now anyway. We're instead going to buy the Stone Sword Key, because that'll be very useful to us later. And now we want to fast travel back to the Tombsword Catacomb, and then we'll just complete the Catacomb. Because in it, there's actually a very, very good summon in it that's different than this guy. Now obviously there's a Stone Sword Key door right here. It only requires one Stone Sword Key, and right now we have 4, so you could spend one here, but I'm just going to give you some advice. No. Do not spend a stone sword key here, because that item in there isn't very good, and I don't recommend it. It's really only useful if you're super into crafting, which, to be fair, we kind of are in this playthrough. Like, we're really crafting a lot, but we're only crafting like a handful of items. You want to defeat this summon here, and we just got our first Grave Glovewort 2. Stop him from respawning. Hit him again. Wait. Smack him. You could, I forgot to. And in hindsight, yeah, that was actually a bad idea. Actually, yeah, that really was a bad idea. I just remembered. First of all, don't do what I just did, and just go in without preparation. Because we just messed that up. So we need to go back up to that side of grace. And that means we're going to need to kill those skeletons again, but for good reason. We want to allocate an extra flask into that. And then we want to get the Sacred Blade Ash of War on the standard infusion. I think now we actually do have enough things to upgrade our weapon to +3. But we don't really have the runes for it. So we're going to defeat this dungeon. And then we'll go get a +3... weapon. First, we're just gonna defeat these guys. As you can see, these guys will drop some loot. It's usually just like mushrooms or human bone shards. It's nothing very special. Make sure you have your Sacred Blade equipped, so that way you'll be able to insta-kill the skeletons for easy pickings. As you can see, enter here, you'll see that flame spray. Keep your shield up, and just run in now, and go on to the right side. Wait. As you can see, a skeleton spawning. Kill him. Our buff just wore off, so we don't do as much damage to him, but whack him. Run through. Whack this. Okay, we kind of messed up whacking it, but that's fine. Go back and grab that loot. Backstab. Wait for him to get up. And then do this. Just to reapply the buff. Run through here. Grab that as well. Two-shot the skeletons. Now that we've defeated all these skeletons, heal. And now, right as you're up against it, jump on top of this. And also kill this skeleton. Okay, I'm not very good today, I can tell. Heal again, if you got hit as many times as I did. Go around this way. Go right up to him and apply your buff. And behind you, there's this dude. Whack him twice. Grab that glovewort. Run through here. And go grab that thing there. We're about to go fight a pretty tough boss as well. And now that the door's been unlocked, we can now go fight him. Summons. We're gonna fight him without summons. I personally have a lot of trouble with him, so I might summon, but I don't think I will. But you can if you want to. These guys are pretty tough. So we're gonna go in here, have our shield up, and we're actually gonna... As you can see, these guys attack super fast, and I just took massive damage because I got very greedy there. Refill our flask. Now these guys have a poison spit attack, You just gotta dodge that, like, right as he's doing it. It has a very long wind-up, and it's super delayed as well, so you don't really get a good chance to do it. You just want to keep backing away, heal. Oh, God. Out of healing flask, and now we gotta play super careful. Oh, alright, now we've defeated him. And we get a legendary summon, our first, Lutel the Headless. And she is a very strong summon. Yeah, she's super strong, super powerful. Instead of going to Tombsword Catacomb, instead of, like, immediately exiting, we're just going to go over to the Site of Grace table. We're actually going to go equip, get our longsword to +3, because it's super strong and we need it.
Well, I took you no man to lay out your own.
Alright, and now our longsword is... Oh, we can actually get it to +4 with the smithing stone 2s we got. So that's actually super good. Since we're not going to be in any catacombs for a while, I'm going to unequip Sacred Blade. And instead we're going to just put back on... just unequip it and just go back to using the good old longsword. And now we're actually going to go back to the Church of Pilgrimage. We're actually going to head over to this structure here. Yeah, we're going to go over there. Make sure you consume these runes as well, actually. Just realized. We're not going to bother with these ruins. There's nothing we need in them. So we're just going to run past them. As you can see, there's an Everjail there with a Stone Sword key lock on it. We'll come back to that in just a hot second. But first, we need to come up here. Go grab this Grace and this church over here. The Sacred Tear in it as well. Now that we've done that, we're going to... Actually, we're going to reallocate our flask. Okay, I don't know what that was. Sorry about that. We're actually going to equip the Golden Vow Ash of War onto it. We should be good on that. And now we're going to go fight that thing in the Everjail. Now, it's a very tough enemy. And I just realized I'm forgetting again to go level up. That's really bad. I recommend kicking that habit as soon as you can. So you always want to make sure you spend your runes before you leave. We're going to get our dexterity to 16. We got 1,700 runes left. It's not enough to level. There are a few things we could buy before doing this, but honestly, we're just going to go straight into it. You could go buy some things from Kale, like, oh god, like, what could you even buy? I don't even know. This requires Stone Sword key to unlock, so we're just going to spend one here to unlock this. And now we're going to go fight the Everjail boss. I forgot to reallocate my flasks as well. That's something I still haven't broken. Pop your flask. Golden Vow. Run up to it. Get a charge. 2 charge R2s. Get a riposte. Heal. Back away. Wait for stamina regen. Go right up behind. Get 2 charge R2s. Back away. Back away. I got caught because I was way too close. Run to the side. Heal. Don't be overly aggressive with your guard countering, because that's going to really screw you over. Run away. Golden Vow. Do a charged R2. Do another charged R2. Back off. Heal. Run to the side. Ideally, you would want to get really close there to... Charge R2. Back away. Get your flask healed. Run to the side. Golden Vow. Charge R2. Okay, he dodged. That's fine. Wait on him. Charge R2. Or just normal R2. And you took him down. Nice. And for this, we get the Radagon Scar Seal Talisman. This talisman, I'll actually show you this when we get out of this Everjail. This talisman increases your strength, your vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity by 4. However, it lowers your overall damage negation. And as you can see, well, the reason why our lightning defense is negative right now is because we're in the rain. Let's change location. We'll go to... we'll actually go to the Smoldering Church in Caelid. So, what does that mean? So overall, that means it increases all those things by 3, but it reduces our defenses by a specific amount. And now that we have 17 endurance, we could technically equip the Bloodhound's Fang. However, we need to two-hand it in order to wield it, which means we can actually go ahead and get rid of the shield. We can also go ahead and upgrade our weapon as well. So that's exactly what we're going to go do. We're going to go upgrade this weapon. We could also equip the Radagon Scar Seal instead. And this reduces your defenses, but it increases your stats by 3. So that's actually very good. Here we want to upgrade the Bloodhound's Fang to +2. Because we have the Scar Seal, we're actually meeting the requirement to one-hand it. We can also use a shield, but we're not really going to need a shield for what we're about to go do. So we're going to go up back to the Smoldering Church. And what we're actually going to do is actually a little strange. Maybe strange by you guys' standards, but not very strange to me. We're going to equip the Strength Knot tier, replenish Flask to 5-1, two-hand, and then we're going to craft 5 fire pots. Now, this is important because the Erdtree avatars are very weak to fire. And the Erdtree avatar we're about to go fight is actually a super tough variant. So, this guy's going to be very tough. But don't worry, it's all good in the hood. I'd say the number one thing we're going to need to do, though, before taking on the Erdtree avatar is killing all of these dudes. As you can see, these guys take 2 hits from a Somber weapon, pro +2 Somber weapon to kill, which means they are very tough. Just take them out one by one. Try not to get hit if you can, because these guys will do a decent amount of damage. These guys also have a very complex moveset as well. As you can see, he actually dropped the Guardian Sword Spear, which isn't a bad weapon, don't get me wrong, but it's not a weapon that really fits into our build, so we're not going to use it. Make sure to keep an eye on ambushes from the right and left. And these guys will actually spread poison everywhere. As you can see, I just took a hit there. Not very good. Back off. Swing. Alright, got him. Now we need to go to the left. Do a jumping heavy. Get him. Now that we're this close, we want to equip these. Oh. Well, thank God you can actually craft another one to replace it. Do this. And then do this. 563 damage. While our main weapon only... And when he does this jump attack, go to the right, throw some pots. Now back away from him. Like, very far away from him when he starts doing this. If he gets in a weird spot like that, like what just happened, throw another fire pot and run behind this little thing here, and all those bolts will miss. Get right up on him. Throw your last 2 fire pots. Quickly hot swap them out of your inventory, and then just run up to him. Quickly get some of those in. As you can see, he almost one-shots us. Back off. Use your Ash of War. Do some of that. Okay, he's doing this now. So you're going to want to run sort of this way and then dodge to the left. Now when he starts doing this, dodge to the side, charge R2. And just congratulations, you have successfully defeated the Erdtree Avatar. Now we've done that, we got 9,600 runes. That is quite a lot of runes. Now that we've defeated this enemy, there is... let's crush this real quick. There's a catacomb over there, but we're not going to go there because it's a bit too high level for us. As you can see, this is a very high level area. So we're going to leave, and we are actually going to go to the shore. We're actually no. We're going to go over to the sending gate that Dee told us about. Now we're going to level up, and I'll actually tell you about like some of the things we actually got from that. So first, we are going to level our strength to 18, so that way we're not as reliant on the Sword Seal, and then we're going to dump get our endurance to 16. And actually, we can speak to Melina now, which means we actually don't need the Scar Seal anymore.
Spoken echoes, shall I share them with you? Very well. In Marika's own words,
Melina has some lore for us
my
here.
lord and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance.
Another thing we're going to do is change our Wondrous Physic from temporarily boost stamina to temporarily boost stamina recovery. We're going to move this back to the to the spiked crack tier for charge attacks. And with this, we don't need it anymore in order to meet the requirements for the weapon. So we don't need it. We could keep it equipped, but I don't really like to. So we're going to replace it with the charge attack tier. Charge attack talisman, rather. Sorry. So that way we can get some extra damage out of stacking. Now we're going to go over to the sending gate, which is right here. It's in these bushes. And we're going to activate it and go straight to Garank, that person Dee told us about. And as you can see, we're in a very strange place, and it's on the other side of the map. But first, we're going to open this door and go inside that place that Dee told us about, just to see what's going on. Open it up. Grab this Grace. We're going to go speak to that dude over there. And this is the guy we're going to be turning in all of our death root to.
I smell it. Death.
We get the Bestial Sling incantation and the Clawmark seal, as well as the Beast Eye. This will basically let us know when there's Deathroot nearby. And now that we have done these things, we're not going to go into the Castle Morn just yet. We have one more thing left to do. Go to the Aguil Lake south, and we're going to go along the right side of the lake, and we're going to go to the bridge, and we're going to go under it to go fight a NPC, and then we're actually going to go fight 2 NPCs, and one of them we can spare in order to get a unique merchant. He's a merchant, and we can go meet him, but first we need to fight him. He's pretty interesting. He actually has a very long and expansive questline. For this, though, I'm gonna recommend equipping this instead of the charge attack talisman, rather, for a little while. And trust me, the stamina recovery tier and talisman do stack. Same thing with the charge attack tier and talisman. Now we're gonna go here. And as you can see, we're getting kicked off our horse. And that's because an NPC summon's about to come here. And he is actually a very tough guy. He's very tough. So what we're going to do first, we're going to consume our flask. Use our Ash of War to just abuse him. And we just defeated him like that. And in exchange, we get the Reduvia. As you can see, Yura would have summoned here. But we actually want to go right past this. And we're going to go this way, and we're going to go speak to Yura.
Just joining the fray. Tarnished. Well, you fought Nereus and survived. That alone deserves commendation. I'm Yura, hunter of bloody fingers. Tarnished, held in thrall by cessblood. Zealots, who stalk their own. You stay the path. You're certain to face more of them. Just remember, no kinship with their ilk remains. Their madness precludes it. Don't let your emotions stay your blade. One last word of warning. Stay clear of Aguil Lake. The great dragon roosts there, and it's as fearsome as it is majestic. So, unless you're mad, or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again, if fate permits.
Yura is a unique NPC that we're going to be seeing a lot more of later. Well, a little bit more of later is probably more accurate. But, regardless, we want to head this way. Back into this cave that we saw earlier. This is the cave with the merchant inside. However, in order to do so, we need to fight him first. And then, we can spare him, and then he'll become a merchant for us. First, though, rest at this site of grace. First thing you're going to want to do is stick to the right side and then make a quick, hard right turn. And just head straight for the boss fog door. Over there, you'll see a chest. Go grab it and pick up what's inside.
Well, well, well. Thought you'd just help yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? You scheming little thief.
Get a charge attack on him as he's coming down.
Cough up your coin. All of it.
I did not mean to do that. If you accidentally kill him, quit out, and it'll reset the fight. So, no harm, no foul.
Wait, please.
There we go. And now he will
I surrender.
spare you.
White flag and all.
The way you want to do what I did, where I quit out, is it'll do this as you summon the opening menu, do this, and then you can do that. As you can see, and that'll reset the fight.
Finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a man of reason. True and true. Well, what do you know? You're tarnished, like me. Now, how did I get that wrong? I took you for a demi-human or some such. An innocent mistake, I assure you. Well, water under the bridge. Now we're squared up. How about we play nice from now on?
Forgive and forget.
A true man of reason. Just what I like about you. I'm Patches. Patches the untethered. Tarnished like you, only free-spirited. Nomadic, you might say. Only for now, those retired soldiers turned bandits. They're paying for my gruel. In exchange for my, well, showing them the ropes. But honestly, this looting racket is bloody terrifying. Frankly, I'm ready to wash my hands clean. Maybe set up a legitimate shop. So don't be a stranger. I'll be ready to wheel and deal come next time.
Now that he's done that, you'll want to go back outside to the main cave. This time you're going to want to head outside, though, and we're going to go straight to the back of the cave. Well, not to the back of the cave, but we're just going to go straight along the river path and just go this way. Make sure you pop those consumable runes as well. You're going to need every single one of them. In the back of this place here, you'll see another catacomb. You'll want to go inside. Pop the Site of Grace, and then just progress through the cave. It's pretty short, and it won't take but a minute. Consume your flask, and then just wait for these guys to drop down. Just two-shot them and pick up your glove wort. Watch out for that pressure plate there, as that unlocks a trap. Be careful not to die, though. Heal. Run to the side and then just smack them. Now you'll want to unlock this. This opens the boss fog door. Now don't even bother with most of the imps for the rest of the arena. Just run straight forward. Jump over this pressure plate, grab this ghost glovewort, and then just keep running. Keep running till you get here. Here you will meet a Grave Warden duelist. What I recommend doing is popping the Baldakin's Blessing and using the Ash of War. This Ash of War can also be used as a dodging tool. It can also do heavy stagger damage, letting you follow up with a riposte. This kills the Grave Warden Duelist, and gives you Banished Knight Engvall, who is a very good summon, a very strong summon as well. Now that you've completed this dungeon, you can either use the Return to Entrance, or you can just leave. What I recommend doing now is something you might think a bit unorthodox. We are now going to go fight the merchant we were just told not to go fight. I know that sounds like a bad idea, and at first you might think it is, but we need the runes. Or, as I just remembered, we're going to go fight the Tree Sentinel up here. This Golden Knight may seem very intimidating at first, and that's partially because he is. But don't let that fool you. He is not the strongest enemy here. Dodge his swings, Roll into him. Get a charge R2. Do not be overly aggressive, though, as you will get caught. Roll into it, get a charge R2. Ash of... or not. Be very careful. Like, don't do what I'm doing, basically. Once you've defeated the Tree Sentinel, you will receive, if I remember correctly, 3,000 runes. 3,200 runes. Now, you'll want to go back to Patches. With this, you're going to want to buy 2 items from Patches. And I'll show you exactly what they are as well. Run to the right side. Run through. And go speak to him.
Well, not all a bit ad hoc, but I'm sure you'll find something. And welcome to Patches Emporium, where you won't need a refund, because everything's top-notch.
The first thing you're going to want to buy is this item called Margit's Shackle. The next item you'll want to buy is the Missionary's Cookbook 2. This allows you to craft these gold pickled fowlfoots that increase rune gain. Now you'll want to buy both of these. There's one more you can buy, and if you have an extra rune, if you have an extra golden rune, you can even use it. Or, if you have anything you don't want, you can just sell it now. For right now, there really isn't anything we want to sell. Actually, I take that back, actually. There are 2 things we want to sell. If you drop the Guardian Sword Spear, sell that. If you didn't, sell the Halberd as well. You can also sell the Golden Halberd as well, since we're not going to be using it, but I actually prefer if you sell the War Pick, if you got lucky and it dropped. Erdsteel Dagger is also a decent thing to sell, as well as the Reduvia. The Golden Halberd, and we're going to sell both of the flails. The Yuji Katana will not be very useful for this run, so we'll sell it also. As for right now, there isn't anything else we can really sell, so now we can buy the remaining gold pickle fowlfoot. Now we want to talk to Patches about the bandits.
Yeah, I had those bandits make a clean break. Now they're all suppliers, and good ones at that. I mean, they don't understand a word I'm saying, but it hardly matters. We have a natural connection. They're all foot soldiers, survivors of a defeated army, worked to the bone by their high and mighty lord, only to be thrown out with the rubbish. It's the same old story everywhere I go. To hell with it all. Wondering what's inside the treasure chest. Well, it's nothing too special. Just something I'm saving as thanks for a very valuable customer. But then again, it would fetch some spectacular coin. And besides, this valuable customer could be a long time coming. Huh? Everything is give and take. Give and take.
We're not going to bother with the chest. That chest is actually a trap. We don't actually want to do anything with it. For now, we're going to make a left. Go back to the first step, Site of Grace, and make a left. I apologize for the dogs in the background. They're being very annoying. Drop down this path, and you'll go down to the shore. This is where we can actually go meet Bok again, because we're actually approaching the cave that Bok said he would be in.
It hurts. Oh. What are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me.
We decide to push forward regardless of what Bok says. And we decide to go take revenge for Bok. Drop down this cave. Pick up the land octopus ovary and drop in. You will want to pop your tier and get a charged R2. Now that you've defeated the first demi-human chief, you'll want to run to the back and go fight the other one. Once you've defeated the other demi-human chief, all of the other demi-humans will fear you, and they won't try to attack you. With this, you will have gotten the sewing needle and the tailoring tools. What I recommend doing instead of going for that beam or even fast traveling out is going through this cave at the back. Kill all of these demi-humans back here as well. Once you go out, you'll be on the island that you saw that was on the map over here. And in here, there's actually a church. However, this one doesn't have a golden seed or even a sacred tear in it like the others did. In here, there's actually a place where you can pick up special spells. These special spells are called Dragon Communion spells. And the ones you can pick up here are Dragon Fire, Dragon Claw, and Dragon Maw, and they each require dragon hearts, which you can only get by slaying dragons. And speaking of dragons, we're actually about to go do that. But first, we need to go to Demi-Human Bok again and return the sewing needle to him.
Oh. Wait. Is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle. What made you go and do a thing like that? My mum was a seamstress, and that sewing kit was all I had to remember her by. I always wanted to be just like sweet old mum. Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I? Thank you very... I always wanted...
After this, we're now going to go back to the Agheel Lake. Go to the first step site of Grace and immediately make a right. Something I recommend doing here is summoning. I actually recommend summoning the jellyfish here, as it has a ranged ability. And I actually recommend equipping the Flame Drake Talisman. After all, we are about to go fight a dragon that breathes fire, so it only makes sense. You'll want to get on your horse to regularly evade the fire attacks that he does. You'll preferably want to get underneath him and start swinging. When he does his stomp and slams, get a jump attack onto his head. If he does this flying into the air, wait for him to come down. I dodged incorrectly there, but you can dodge that pretty consistently, but you have to do it just right. Same thing with this. Something that always bothers me about this is the camera. You should probably keep your camera centered on the boss. When he does this, get on the horse and ride backwards. Then ride again forwards. Another strategy you can do is just slashing at his ankles. This doesn't do as much damage as the head, but it is consistent. Run backwards, and then wait for him to come down. Now you can whack his head a couple times. Even 3. This allows you to open up for a riposte. Congratulations, you have now defeated the dragon. Now you'll want to go this way, north, and actually go into this little crevice here. You'll receive a dragon heart for defeating the dragon and several thousand runes. This is your very first tunnel. Tunnels and mines are places where you can actually go get unique upgrade materials as well. These upgrade materials are sort of everywhere. In these tunnels, and this will allow you to upgrade multiple weapons to +3, and in some cases, if they have the smithing stone 2s, to +6. And also they sometimes, albeit very rarely, have somber weapons, have somber smithing stones, so that way you can upgrade a somber weapon to +1. In here, a lot of the enemies are very resistant to other types of damage, so we actually want to equip the Morning Star, and I recommend equipping a shield. Either shield works. I actually recommend equipping the brass shield here, as it is, in general, better than the heater shield we were using earlier. I actually recommend two-handing for this dungeon, as your attacks are less likely to bounce off. Before you go into this cave, re-equip your Bloodhound's Fang and use an Ash of War. Rats can sometimes have a very rare drop chance of dropping rune arcs. These are very rare, and I don't really recommend relying on rats for these. Instead, just focus on just finding rune arcs either in shops or around the world. Rune arcs aren't very useful to us right now, so I don't recommend using any. But trust me, they will be. Now you'll want to head down again. This time you'll want to drop down here. This will lead you to the boss arena. Or rather, this takes you to an open area leading before the boss arena. Defeat all of these enemies to get smithing stone 1s. And some glintstone scrap, which is albeit a very fun consumable, but not very useful for our build. And there's that somber smithing stone 1 that I was talking about. Now we're entering the boss arena. This boss in particular will absolutely requires the Morning Star, so I recommend equipping your tier And then I recommend equipping the Charge Attack Talisman. You'll be relying on stance breaks here. You don't really need to summon here. This is basically very similar to the trolls outside. What I recommend doing here is smacking the legs. This, you will get a stance break, and then get a... Now that you've defeated the troll, you will now receive the Roar Medallion. This increases roar attacks and roar Ashes of War by 15%. This isn't very useful to us right now because we don't have any roar ashes, but this will be useful maybe a bit later, but not right now. Now you can go level up. Go to the Castle Morn Lift, and now we'll go level up. Make sure to swap your weapon back to the Bloodhound's Fang. Now you'll want to upgrade your endurance to 18. So far, we have picked up 3 weapons that we have upgraded so far. The Longsword, the Bloodhound's Fang, and now, we are now going to go pick up our 3rd weapon. The Claymore. The Claymore is a weapon that's in every single Souls game. We aren't going... First, we need to clear out this area. Make sure to heal again and back off. Now if you get lucky, you'll receive the long-haft axe, but I don't really recommend relying on luck drops. If you really want the weapon, you can farm for it if you want, but that enemy is pretty tough, so we won't bother with him right now. Head into in here and pick up this chest. In it is the Claymore. Heal again as you're on your way up the ladder. These fur-calling finger remedies will allow you to summon other players in areas where you have used the summoning pools. Here you will also pick up the Steel Wild Torch. The Steel Wire Torch is basically just like any other torch, except this torch does a bit more damage than the regular torch. You're not ever going to be using torches for their Ashes of War, ever, or for any attacking, but, I mean, hey, it's nice to have. Go a bit further up, and then you'll want to make a left, and to drop down. fight all these enemies along the bridge. They can be pretty hard to hit at times, but if you do a jump attack, you should be able to hit them. Or they'll just come to the ground on their own. As rare as that is. Once you take down some of the flying enemies, rush in and defeat these enemies as well. Now that you've done this, run across the bridge and go up these stairs. Make a left, and then make another left, and you'll see a Knight Commander.
There's a face I've not seen before. I'm Edgar, warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. But you can see how things have turned out. The menials have all rebelled. They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morn won't hold much longer. Take this, by way of apology.
Deliver Arena's letter.
I see. From Arena. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands. If you see Arena, do tell her that her father will come for her once he's fulfilled his duty.
Now we go back this way. Quickly run across, and then we're going to need to make a somewhat difficult jump. Get up here and do another jump, and then grab this side of Grace. We're going to rest at this side of Grace, and then we are actually going to fast travel back to the Ailing village outskirts. Now we're going into another mine to get even more upgrade materials. After all, we do need to upgrade the claymore. Quickly run across the bridge, and then make a left turn instead of a right turn. Drop down, then quickly run this way. There you'll see another tunnel. This will have more upgrade materials in it, and we're going to need them. This cave has mostly just these misbegotten. As such, you'll need the Bloodhound's Fang for this instead of the other one. However, it does have a couple of these miners. What I recommend doing is getting some charge attacks. As you can see, using normal weapons, that is how significantly reduced your damage is. be ready for a tough fight out of this tunnel, because this is where all of those misbegotten are. Just get right up in this group and do that. Then do the upward slash. Then grab this purple item. Now kill this misbegotten. Alright. Grab these smithing stones. And run this way. And that right there is the boss arena. Make sure to look left and right before entering a boss arena in these tunnels, because sometimes there'll be smithing stones right next to them. Now you're going to get to fight the area boss. This is where you get to fight a scaly misbegotten. This is like that knight that we fought earlier in the Castle Morn, but this is a little bit of a stronger version. Once you've staggered him, get a riposte, if you can, or not, just kill him. Yeah, just kill him. It's fine. And you'll get the Rusted Anchor, a strength weapon. It's not very great, but it's kind of funny, because, I mean, it's 26 strength, you're not going to get really any value out of it. Now that you've completed more tunnel, you can leave. First, we actually do need to go back to the Ailing Village again. I know, we need to keep coming back here instead of going into Castle Morn. I get it. Y'all are probably mad. But trust me, we do need to do a lot of preparation. Preparation is necessary for the troubles that are about to come. Drop down here. Cross this way. Cross the bridge. Heal. Keep running. See that right there? Jump down onto it. Ignore these ruins for now. And just pick up these drops. Keep running past it until you see that glowing tree there. Then you'll want to make a right of it. Sometimes these glowing trees can lead you to unique caves, like this one down here. If you have trouble finding the cave around the tree, just press Y onto the tree and it'll summon a ghost that'll lead you here. We actually need to come here because there's a very, very good item here. Before we go any further, though, we need to level up. I recommend getting your dexterity to 18. Now that we've done this, you see that crackly ground there? You're going to want to go right and around it to open this chest. To grab 3 pickled turtlenecks. These increase your stamina regen slightly for about 60 seconds, I believe. Most of this cave is just rats, so just feel free to kill them all. You can also equip that torch we got earlier if you'd like, but it also means you can't use your Ash of War, and you're one-handing the weapon, so I wouldn't be overly enthusiastic about it. Now we need to drop down this hole. Unequip the torch and two-hand your weapon. Go down again, and pick up these silver fireflies. Grab the cave moss and just keep running forward. And now you're going to enter a cave. with a bear. I recommend changing your spirit summon to the skeletal militiamen. Summon them, and back away from the bear. The bear is very aggressive here, so just spam the Ash of War, if you can, of course. You'll also want to back away to heal regularly. Your summons will do a great job distracting for the most part. Once you've defeated the bear, you will receive the Spelldrake Talisman. This increases your magic defense by 10%. We aren't going to be fighting any magic enemies for a while, but this will be extremely useful in an upcoming area. And now that we've done all of this, we actually need to head all the way back to the War Master's shack. Here we need to do a couple of things. First, change this out for the Sacred Scorpion Charm. Then, you need to craft as many, and I do mean as many holy water pots as you can. Then, rest at this site of grace. Replace the Spiked Crack tier with the Faith Knot tier. Then, equip the holy water pots. Now, we're ready to go take on the last boss that we need to take on before we can begin fighting in Castle Morn again. You'll want to run to the left side. Well, actually, there's a couple of items we might need to get here, because I thought I did this. Lure one of these trolls over here to this statue. If you can get them to crack it, it'll have items in it, which I think we already did this. Oh no, we didn't. Okay. I thought I already done that. Well, you get 5 smithing stone 1s and a smithing stone 2. Very useful. However, one thing you'll notice is that the boss I told you that I said would be here would summon. And that's because I forgot that boss only summons at night. Oh, I'm very smart, by the way. Like, everyone to be aware of that. I am very smart. Go back to the War Master shack and set the time to night. Now that you see the Deathbird immediately begin throwing water pots at it. As you can see, you'll hit it for a massive 1600 damage. Once you've defeated the bird, and this goat that decided to jump in, you will receive 2800 runes and the blue feathered branch sword. This will increase your damage negation when your HP is below 20%. Once you've done that, return to Bernal. Rest at this site of grace and unequip the Faith Knot tier and replace it with the Spiked Crack tier. Unequip the Sacred Scorpion Charm and replace it with the Green Turtle Talisman and unequip the Holy Water Pots. Now speak to Bernal. The number 1 battle art you're going to want to learn now is the Stormblade. The Stormblade is very strong, and I actually recommend learning it because it actually provides a lot of utility. For some weapons, it can even provide a ranged attack. Now we can return to Castle Morn and begin to fight more enemies. Drop down once, drop down twice, and drop down again, and now you want to drop down very specifically onto here and grab this purple item. It's a stone sword key, and those are very valuable, obviously. Now you're just going to want to run past just about everything, but kill these guys on the way. They only take 2 hits, and they're not that bad. Jump off the bridge, onto this roof, drop down again, jump, drop down, and then drop down here. Now you're going to want to position yourself very carefully to land perfectly on this beam here and grab this item, which is a smithing stone 2. Then drop down again, and now you're going to want to get a plunging attack on one of these rats. Defeat all the enemies in here to get the whip. It's not very good, but, I mean, hey, it's there. Now you'll want to run up to this side of Grace and grab it. Now we'll want to run all the way to the other side. And you'll want to get a charge attack on this enemy right here. That knocks it down for a riposte, allowing you to kill him. Once you've done that, you can pick up 8 throwing daggers, and then drop down. You'll then want to go this way, back over to where all these crabs are, and just keep running. A giant crab will spawn, but don't worry about it and grab this item. There are 15 fire arrows here. You never want to turn down free ammunition. While we haven't really used bows yet, we will, and they'll actually be quite useful for us. Maybe not overly useful, but somewhat. Then you'll want to make a turn this way, to go around the backside of this area, and pick up this, a somber smithing stone 1. There's nothing around here anymore for us to pick up. We can now go fight the area boss, which, as you can see, is a red lion-looking thing with a giant sword. What I recommend doing is summoning the jellyfish ashes if you need help. First, though, we're just going to use normally. Just go up in there and fight him. Get an Ash of War in, and knock him. Make sure you back up, especially there. His attacks are delayed, so he can roll catch you, if you're not careful. Do an Ash of War to stun him, and then knock him again. Then do a light attack, and then back off. Do an Ash of War to kill him. And he will drop the Grafted Blade Greatsword. With this, you have now completed all of Castle Morn. Rest at this side of Grace in order to level up. What I recommend leveling up is your Endurance to 19. Now, we're going to back off all the way back to the Bridge of Sacrifice. With this, Irina's father's battle is finally over, and now he can go reunite with his daughter. However, not all things are destined for a happy ending.
Greener, how could this be? My daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And
That is how fate has answered.
I'll find them. The foul wretches responsible for this. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them. Rest assured, Irina, it will be done.
Edgar's daughter, Irina, has been murdered. And as so, Edgar swears revenge on all of them. For now, we decide to leave him alone. And now, we must go back to that structure I spoke of earlier. This little circle right next to the Erd Tree. We're going to teleport to the Third Church of America, and we're going to go straight for it. Now we must enter this well here. Inside, there is an elevator that will lead you down. So, let's go down. This is going to take a while, so if you have any runes to pop, go ahead and do it now. Or just admire the elevator as you go down. Either or. Grab this side of grace, and now we want to immediately begin running. Hop on turret and just keep running. Pick up every single item you see. This golden rune 3. This ghost glovewort 1. This finger for calling finger remedy. And now we want to head into this structure up here. Pick up these melted mushrooms, as well as these smithing stone 4s. As you can see, some enemies will have glowing eyes. These guys have lots of health, and this is coming from a somber +2 weapon. We're obviously not quite ready to take on this area yet. However, we will be soon. As you can see, I got very careless and died. That's because I thought these enemies were pushovers. They're not. However, relative to everything else in this area, they are. So, you're going to want to be very careful when dealing with these guys. The reason why I was focusing down some of these enemies was because they had golden eyes, and enemies with golden glowing eyes like that can drop extra runes. However, sometimes it's just not worth it. So just run right past them, and we're going to re-pick up our runes again. Next thing you're going to want to do is go over to this little pools of water and pick up all the items in here. There's this item here that's pretty difficult to pick up because collision just decides not to work sometimes. If you're off your horse, it's a bit easier, but not by much. Now we want to head this way. Before we go any further into that area over here, we want to go this way. First, we want to pick up this item here, which is a budding horn. I don't really know what these are used for, but they're probably used for something good. Then we'll want to head further around, just to make sure we're not missing anything. Next, we'll want to jump onto these. Now you probably want to get off your horse here, so that way you can kill these enemies more easily. In that Teardrop Scarab, you pick up the Oracle Bubbles spell. Honestly, we aren't going to be using that kind of spell because it's pretty weak, so we won't really bother with it. I just wanted to pick it up anyway, just so that way you could see that there's often more to an area than what may seem at first. It may seem like a pretty simple place, until you realize that something like that's there. So, while maybe we didn't find anything valuable for us right there, you may be able to find something more value to you maybe a bit later in a different area. Teardrop Scarabs don't just drop spells and upgrade mats. They can drop weapons, Ash of Wars, all different kinds of things. You just gotta keep an eye out for them. Now you will want to grab this site of grace and rest at it. You will also want to level up, and I recommend getting your endurance to 20, and that'll be our final level for endurance for quite some time. As you can see, these little totems everywhere, very similar to the ones up top that drop maps. In here, you're going to want to light each of these with the fire. You can do this later, but I recommend going ahead and getting it over with while we're here exploring. And besides, we have a decent amount of HP, so we won't get one-shot by everything here. Thing you can do is drop down this way and go get this purple item over here. This, okay, we need to go around, is the hornbow. The hornbow is a bow with an intelligence requirement, surprisingly, and it will do magic damage. This is actually pretty decent, honestly. It's not too bad, but it's okay. It's very good if you're using a bow with a corresponding elo, if you're using magic arrows as well. But we aren't really going to be leveling intelligence, so there's not really a point for us to grab that. We're now going to run this way and go over to this section here. And in here, we're going to want to jump up. And then go left and around. Grabbing this Ghost Glovewort 3. And you could, in theory, jump over here, which is a bit risky, but I recommend doing it because there's a purple item over here, and it's a stone sword key. Very useful. Now you can just jump this way. That jump can be pretty hard to make if you're not very good, though. So you may just have better luck fast traveling. As there's nothing else really here, you'll want to head back to that center over there to go grab the next totem. Be very careful of these balls here. When you get too close to them, they'll activate and they'll start spraying a bunch of lightning bullets at you. We don't currently have any lightning negation talismans, so we can't really deal with those right now. For now, we're just going to try our best to avoid them. You're honestly just going to want to keep running. There you'll have picked up a smithing stone 3. This will be used to upgrade your weapon when you start getting beyond +6, which is currently way beyond what we're doing here. You can actually use the iframes off Torrent and on the totem pole in order to avoid getting killed by those things as well. Now you'll want to go light that other totem pole over there in that back corner. Now you'll want to jump across this and into this little structure over here. And you'll want to grab this side of Grace. Another 3 smithing stone 2s right there. And over here there's a teardrop scarab that has an ash of war that's very useful to us. It's the square off ash of war. This is the default ash of war of most straight swords. And if you apply it to a straight sword that already has it, you can actually give it the quality affinity, which will actually reflect your stats. This will make your weapon even stronger instead of relying on its default scalings and stats. I'll explain more about that when we actually start getting to high enough levels where infusions start to matter, but right now it really doesn't. Now we'll want to make a left this way. Keep running and cross this bridge and go get that golden seed over there. Now run back across the bridge. Grab this side of Grace here. Now upgrade your flask and turn around. As you can see, this is another elevator you can use to get back to the surface. However, it's not going to be very useful to us right now. Instead, just pick up the item next to it, the Clarifying Horn Charm. This boosts your focus, which is your resistance to various status effects such as sleep and madness. For now, though, we actually want to return back to the Siofra River bank. Just run past it and go get that totem pole all the way in the back. This is the last one to collect, I believe. And once we do that, we can go fight the area boss. Now that all the fires are lit, we can now go fight the area boss. Instead of using the spirit jellyfish ashes, I recommend equipping the lone wolf, because the enemy we're about to fight is very mobile. I also recommend changing out this for the Spelldrake talisman, because this enemy does a lot of magic damage. Now we can go fight him. Pop your physic before going in, and then summon your wolves. After all, you are about to fight a deer, so the wolves make sense here. As he does this prance, you're going to want to jump here. This is his magic damage attack I was talking about. You're going to want to run to the side of it. He does massive damage to you, so make sure to heal it. Most of your wolves are dead at this point, but it doesn't hurt to get the extra damage in. Now you're going to want to back off from him and let that magic pool dissipate. Let him do his jump attack, roll into it, get the slash, and then just dodge in. Heal so that way you can get your Ash of War back, and then run to the side. And let him come to you. Once you have defeated the deer, you will get a new summon, the Ancestral Follower. The Ancestral Follower is a long-range summon that's actually pretty decently tanky. Not bad. Now that you've defeated the Ancestral Follower, go back to the Siofra Riverbank again. Now, you're going to want to invest into your Vigor. I recommend you can do one of two things, actually. You can either dump into Vigor or Mind. We're going to dump into Mind so that way we can get 85. This means we can use our Ash of War more often, and we can use more summons. Here, we're going to equip the Lance Talisman because we're going to be on horseback almost exclusively. And here, we're going to equip the Spirit Jellyfish Ashes. That's because the next area boss we're about to go fight is actually a very high health enemy, and he has lots of health and does lots of damage. However, he isn't very mobile, and we can exploit that due to the jellyfish also being quite long range. The other thing I like about the jellyfish is that she applies poison, which is a percentage-based status effect, which means the higher health an enemy is, the better poison is against the enemy. Poison is often considered to be a bad status effect, but in the early game, it kind of is a bit of a saving grace. Make sure to pick up all essential items, and go up. As you can see, we'll be going into this fight with one less healing flask, but that's okay. We can make it work. Travel through this portal. and you'll be right here at the top. First things first, though, is we're going to explore a little bit around this area. There isn't much to see, and there's actually only one thing we can even pick up in the first place, and that's that teardrop scarab there. That teardrop scarab actually drops another spell. Another bubble spell, to be precise. Now you'll want to back away from that area. This is the Great Oracular Bubble. If you're that concerned about me wasting that extra healing flask, there's actually a couple of these red flask enemies here. These red scarabs will actually drop an extra healing flask. So you drop healing flasks so that way you can replenish them. Now, you will want to summon the jellyfish. Get your physic, and then just run in. As you can see, very high damage. You're gonna want to back away from him at all times. And make sure to hit him at least a couple times around his back leg so that way you can draw aggro to yourself, so that way he won't target your summon. This is why the Lance Talisman is so good here. We really do need horseback in order to avoid a lot of his attacks right now. We just knocked him off. There we just staggered him, meaning we can actually get a riposte. Get back on your horse and run away. Now that he's beginning to target Aurelia, you're gonna want to keep smacking his ankles. As you can see, we just died at a very inopportune time. If you're not careful, you will get killed. We right there were not very careful. We can actually respawn at a site of grace here, too, to make things just a bit easier, too. One thing I can actually recommend doing now is actually summoning Aurelia at the very far stretch of the arena. Probably about right here. Now we're going to drink our flask, and we're going to go whack him a few times. Whack him a couple of times. Grab our runes. Go up to his back legs. Get hit. Heal. And back away. Rotate. As you can see, we just got knocked off the horse, and that leaves us stunned where we can die. That's because we didn't manage our horse's health. No, I'm not doing that. Oh my god. As you can see, we're dying quite a bit here. That's because this boss is really hard, and I don't recommend underestimating him. We can also leave him behind, meaning that we don't have to fight him right now. However, we're going to, because we're not very bright. Back away and heal. Now that we have defeated the Dragonkin soldier, we can get 2 more items. the Dragon Halberd, which is another primary weapon we'll be using, and the Marika Scar Seal. The Marika Scar Seal is sort of like the Radagon Scar Seal, where it increases all of your magic base stats by 3. This includes your mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane. Overall, not bad. Especially not bad this early. Now, we are finally ready to go take on Stormhill. To go take on the first big boss in Stormvale. And now, we're ready. We're also ready to go take on our demigod. However, we aren't going to be using the horse. We're going to re-equip the Green Turtle Talisman and rest at this site of grace. And now, we must level. We're going to level our mind some more. We ideally want to get it to about 16, maybe even 20. The Dragon Halberd will be left alone for a little while, although we technically have the stats to wield it if we two-hand. But I don't really recommend it. And this is actually where we're actually going to get our first break. So for now, that's it for today. Ah! I just remembered too. There's actually not, actually. We need to do one thing before we go fight Margit and our first demigod. I'm forgetting things, I'm sorry. This will be our next thing. That's right. It's time to take on this cave. But we also need to go pick up some more crafting. We have a lot of runes to spend here, and we could honestly use those for upgrades. That's exactly what we're going to go do. We're going to go upgrade our items. Excuse me.
Well, I took you no matter, it's all as out your own.
You can continue to upgrade the longsword, or you can upgrade the claymore. Either one works, or you could even upgrade the halberd. Which is actually what we're going to do. Get it to +2, why not? And now we're going to upgrade the claymore. Which we actually don't have enough to upgrade the claymore. Oof. Ah, well, it's fine. And with this, we are now ready to enter the stranded graveyard that we spoke of earlier. This stone sword key door we saw right as we began our journey. And then, we will then go up to Stormvale, of which we spoke of so long ago, and go fight our first demigod right after this. Thank you guys for watching episode 2. Have a nice day.